think it's just so fun to share that experience. It's really a bonding time.
And that was his present to me, and it was the best present I ever got.
And hot would probably be one of the best memories. I mean, memories, not, you know, not the best, but wonderful.
We loved it. Those were like good times.
It's such a social bonding kind of time, and everyone always gravitates to the kitchen anyway. I feel like if we didn't have our kitchen, we'd have no social life. I've always loved baking, though my mom never let me bake in the kitchen because it was too messy. And I baked my first batch of cookies for my husband before he was my husband for his birthday, for his 18th birthday. And I've known I wanted to bake cake for probably only the last 10 years before my daughter was born and when I wasn't really happy with my previous career. And just thought, well, after the kids are bigger, and if I still want to pursue this passion, I'll do it. And just through the course of a first birthday cake and her second birthday cake and my second child, just learned to do cake on my own and for anybody and everybody who would take a cake. And now I make wedding cakes for a living.
Tell me about the apple pie recipe in your family.
And that's a tough one. I think it was probably from my grandmother and her siblings that kind of collaborated on that. That was in New England. We lived in a little small town in the western part of Massachusetts, right in the corner of New York State and Vermont and Massachusetts, where it comes together.
I remember some of my funnest times were like with my brothers making cookies, but we didn't like make cookies from scratch. We would buy like the Pillsbury dough, cut it up in quarters, and then we would bake it. We would have like just it down to an art where it would be soft, almost still doughy, but after it would come out, then we'd just let it sit there for a little while, and they would just melt in our mouth, and we would just all lay around on the couch and couches.
I used to bake a lot more, but I think my daughter does most of the baking now.
Original recipes are in the bag. I wrote it when I was so young. Look at, I wrote flour, F-L-W-R.
Well, one of our favorite family recipes is the lemon meringue pie, but it's not your typical lemon meringue pie. Most lemon meringue pies have like a jelly inside, but this one is like a cream lemon meringue pie. I think it was my father's mother, Nana Ann, who started making the recipe first. When my father was young, during the Depression, he lived with his mother and his mother's sister, his aunt, and they were so poor that they used to make pies, homemade pies, to sell to make a little bit of money. And I think the lemon pie is one of those recipes.
This is a small business, and it started by me. I'm it. And the kids have seen everything from the first cake to every part of building this shop. And so that's definitely been an experience that they've shared, and I've shown them along the way what it takes to make something happen, to turn an idea into something that really works. And as far as baking cake, it's a requirement that they help bake their birthday cakes. So my son is turning 6 next week, and he wants a car. And I said to him, I said, well, hon, I said, a car is a pretty difficult cake. And he said, yeah, I know, but I really want it. And I said, okay, well, Mama's gonna have to carve the shape of the cake and, you know, and cover it in the fondant, but what will you do for the cake? And he said, well, I really think I can make the wheels, Mommy. And he's right. He knows exactly what parts of it he could and could not do.
Oh, I think it's really exciting in the beginning, I always had my daughter with me when I was baking. From the time she could stand up, she would be on the chair next to me with her hands in the flour, making a mess everywhere. As she grew up, she took over making it, and so it gave her confidence. And then there's the family part where when people hear that you're going to be making it, they get excited, and you have memories from the last time you ate the pie together, and then you make new memories this time, and it's just one of those like constants in life.
And it's a winner. It wins first place.
Oh, Debbie has a good lemon pie story.
Brings generations together and then starts new generations. Now my husband, he loves that recipe. It's like his favorite pie recipe now, so that part of it's fun too, sharing it with new people.
Personally, the cake that I love the most is cake that's made at home. And that's what I've tried to bring here, are the same things that I brought to my kids' birthday parties, where we're doing it together, where the kids are drawing pictures of what they like and thinking about what they want to do, and then bringing that idea into a full-blown cake. So certainly I've taken it a couple of levels now, but I try to bring the same idea that when we are doing something that's creative with the client and taking their ideas, that's something that there's no mass marketed thing that will ever be able to recreate that scenario. So in some ways, they each have their place. And I think for large scale events that are very personalized, I don't know that a mass marketed something could really do the trick.
What do you think about your children making this recipe?
I think it's wonderful that you, Renee, actually carry on the tradition, not so much the tradition, but actually to bake and make things from scratch. So many people today just go to the frozen food section, pick one out, drag it in, pop it in the microwave or the oven. That's it. So I think it's very special when that happens. Obviously, we've done this many times, and your brother and also all of our friends and are really appreciative of it and really love it.
So would you say it like brings people together?
Oh, absolutely. A homemade pie would bring a lot of people together.